Alrighty everyone, welcome to Talk GCSE. Today we're going to look at endocrine system and this topic that comes up again and again for GCSE Biology, especially in homeostasis and response. Now first of all, what actually is endocrine system? It's a system in the body that it's body's communication system. It uses hormones. Hormones are basically chemical messengers that travel in the blood and target organs. Now for GCSEs, you don't need to memorize every hormone in the human body. You do need to understand what they are, where they are produced, how they travel, how they affect target organs, and how they help maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis, you need to know, is a big keyword here. It means keeping internal conditions stable, things like body temperature, body glucose levels, and water balance. You also need to understand negative feedback, which is extremely important. Negative feedback is when the body detects a change from normal level and triggers a response to bring back to normal. For example, if the blood glucose rises, insulin is released. If the blood glucose falls, glycogen is released. So when revising the endocrine system, always think, what gland releases the hormone? What triggers its release? What is its effect? And how does it restore balance? Now those 4 questions basically cover most of the GCSE exam questions. Now let me take you through to the key glands you need to absolutely know for GCSEs. The first one is pituitary gland. It's often called the master gland because it controls other glands. It releases things like, now you need to have your notebook and your pen ready here, guys, because I'm going to tell you a lot of the things that are not on this slide. So just make sure your subtitles are on, and also you are able to go back to the video again to try and write all your notes. The first released hormone is FSH, the second one is LH, third one is ADH, and the fourth one is growth hormone. Now you don't always need every detail, but you should know that it regulates other endocrine glands. The next one that we need to know is thyroid gland. This releases thyroxine, and thyroxine is the one that controls metabolism, because how fast your body's chemical reaction happens. Then we have the pancreas. This is crucial. It releases insulin and glycogen, which controls blood glucose levels. The adrenal gland releases adrenaline, the fight or flight hormone. It increases heart rate, breathing rate, and blood flow to muscles. Then the ovaries release estrogen, progesterone, which controls the menstrual cycle. The testes release testosterone, which controls main secondary sexual characters. For GCSEs, you really don't need extreme detail, but you must know the name of the gland, the hormone it produces, the basic function of that hormone. So examiners tend to love matching questions, so make sure you link the gland, hormone, and the effect. Now, this is a classic comparison question at GCSE level because both systems coordinate the body, but they work very differently. The nervous system uses electrical impulses alongside neurons, so it's very fast, almost instant. But its effects are short-lived, for example, pulling your hand away from a hot surface. The endocrine system uses hormones carried in the blood. This is slower because hormones have to travel through bloodstream, however, the effects last longer. So here's the comparison. When we talk about nervous system, think of fast, short-lasting electrical signals, precise response. But when we talk about endocrine system, it's slower, longer-lasting chemical signals, which are hormones, and widespread effects. A common exam tip is if the question says compare, make sure you refer to both the system in each sentence. For example, the nervous system produces a rapid response, whereas the endocrine system produces a slower response. Now, this comparison language gains you marks. Now let's focus on the key hormonal process you must all know well. First, the blood glucose control. So when the blood glucose rises, the pancreas releases insulin. Insulin causes the glucose to move from the body into the cells and stimulates the liver to convert glucose to glycogen. When the blood glucose falls, glycogen is the one that's released. This causes the glycogen to be converted back into glucose. Secondly, the menstrual cycle. So this is where those FSH and LH gets triggered. These are the hormones. So the first one stimulates the egg maturation. The second one triggers ovulation. Estrogen thickens the uterus lining and inhibits FSH. and progesterone maintains the uterus lining. So these are very important when we're learning about menstrual cycle. These are very important. Now the third thing is adrenaline. Adrenaline prepares the body for fight or flight. So it increases heart rate, increases breathing rate, increases blood flow, and increases blood glucose. The fourth one is thyroxine. It controls metabolic rate. It is regulated by negative feedback involving the pituitary gland. So in your exam, we need to ensure that we talk about stimulus, hormone released, their effect, and return to normal level. Now, if you can confidently explain these things, you have covered a large proportion of endocrine system to get your marks at GCSEs. Now, I've made this video pretty quick. If you found this useful, just make sure to give me a follow, guys. Talk GCSE. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.